Prince William is reading King Charles's mail. Not metaphorically, not casually, officially. Every communication arriving from Prince Harry and Meghan Markle in California, every request, every letter, every attempt to arrange a visit to the UK with their children is now being intercepted, held, and managed entirely by William's team at Kensington Palace. Charles never sees them. Think about what that means. The King of England, the head of the Commonwealth, the crowned sovereign, is being shielded from his own son's correspondence. Not because he asked to be, because someone decided he needed to be. Who made that decision? And more importantly, what does it tell us about who is actually running the British monarchy right now? Because here's the thing. What is happening inside the palace walls in the summer of 2026 is not a family drama. It is not a scheduling adjustment. It is not the routine management of a busy institution. It is a power transfer. Quiet, deliberate, and almost completely invisible to the outside world. This is Crown Gaze, and today we go inside the restructuring that the palace will never officially announce. To understand what is happening now, you need to understand what King Charles III represents, and what he has always represented. Charles waited 70 years for this crown. 70 years of watching, of preparing, of absorbing every detail of what it means to be sovereign. He became king in September 2022 at the age of 73. And from the beginning, his reign was shadowed by one unavoidable fact: time. He knew it, the palace knew it, the public quietly suspected it. Then came the diagnosis. In February 2024, Buckingham Palace confirmed that King Charles had been diagnosed with cancer. They didn't specify which type. They said he was beginning treatment. They said he remained positive, and they deployed the language that royal institutions always deploy in moments of institutional fragility. Language of continuity, of confidence, of business as usual. But here's the thing about royal language. It never says what it means directly. It signals. And if you know how to read the signals, the picture that emerged through 2025 and into 2026 was unmistakable. The king's schedule began to change. Not dramatically, not in a way that made headlines, but consistently, methodically, in ways that only become visible when you track the pattern over months. Engagements requiring sustained travel began to disappear. Back-to-back public appearances became rarer. The long foreign tours, the kind that define a monarch's international presence, stopped appearing on the forward diary. The palace had a name for this. They called it managing autumn scheduling. Routine forward planning. Nothing to see here. But strip away the language, and what you're left with is a king whose calendar is being hollowed out. Engagement by engagement, month by month. The kingdom's most visible representative was quietly entering what insiders now call a precautionary phase, a period of reduced physical and emotional demand, designed to protect a man whose health has made the full weight of monarchy unsustainable. That decision didn't happen in a vacuum. Someone had to manage what came next. Someone had to pick up the load. Someone had to decide, with no public announcement and no constitutional mechanism to legitimize it, how a monarchy functions when its monarch cannot. That someone was William. Here is the core claim of this video. State it plainly. The British monarchy is currently operating under a de facto regency, in everything but name. King Charles remains on the throne. He retains his title, his constitutional authority, and his public appearances. But the operational center of the institution has migrated. Decisions are being made, access is being controlled, and duties are being redistributed, all under the direction of the Prince of Wales and his team at Kensington Palace. This is not speculation. Look at the evidence. Start with the correspondence filter. When Harry and Meghan began pushing for a UK visit, reportedly reaching out repeatedly regarding bringing their children, Archie and Lilibet, to Britain, those communications did not reach Charles. William's team intervened. They positioned themselves as the gatekeepers, the buffer between the king and any potential source of emotional stress. Now, you might say, isn't that just protective family behavior? Isn't a son looking out for his father? No, this is not how families operate. This is how institutions operate. The decision to intercept royal correspondence, to position one working royal's team as the filter for another working royal's access, that is an administrative decision. It requires coordination. It requires the agreement of senior advisors. It reflects an institutional judgment that the king's emotional bandwidth is now a managed, rationed resource. And William is the one managing it. But the correspondence filter is only the most visible piece. Look at what else has shifted. Peter Phillips, Charles's nephew, son of Princess Anne, has been elevated into a more prominent institutional role alongside his new wife, Harriet Spurling. James, the Duke of Wessex, Charles's youngest brother, has been handed a heavier public workload. These are not coincidental promotions. They are load-bearing appointments designed to fill the visible gap left by a king who can no longer carry the full public weight of the crown. Who made those calls? Not Charles, not formally at least. The pattern of elevation, the redistribution of duties, the reshaping of who appears where and when, all of it points to a central coordination point. That point is Kensington Palace. And then there's the harder question. If William is controlling access to the king, directing the redistribution of royal duties, and positioning his allies within the extended family, at what point does protective son become operational sovereign? The answer is, we may have already crossed that line. Here is why this matters beyond palace gossip. The British monarchy is not just a family, it is a constitutional institution with real legal weight. The sovereign signs legislation. The sovereign appoints the prime minister. The sovereign is the formal head of the armed forces, the Church of England, and 14 Commonwealth realms. These are not ceremonial footnotes. They are the load-bearing architecture of British governance. When that institution operates under informal, undeclared restructuring, when the real center of power shifts without any legal mechanism to acknowledge it, you create a problem of legitimacy. History is instructive here. The last time Britain functioned under anything resembling informal regency was during the illness of George III, whose deteriorating mental state created decades of constitutional uncertainty, political maneuvering, and institutional instability. The formal Regency Act of 1811 was passed precisely because the ambiguity had become untenable. The country needed to know who was actually in charge. That act named a regent. It created legal clarity. There is no such clarity right now. Think about who gains in this arrangement. William consolidates influence earlier than any heir in modern memory. His team, his advisors, his allies, move into positions of quiet authority. His judgment becomes the filter through which the institution operates. Think about who loses. Harry, structurally. His ability to communicate with his father, to maintain any familial or institutional connection, is now dependent on the goodwill of the brother who famously does not have his goodwill. But also, and this is the part that rarely gets said, the public loses. The public has a legitimate interest in knowing when the constitutional head of state is operating at reduced capacity. There is no mechanism right now to ensure that transparency. And there is a deeper problem still. The monarchy has built a structure designed to function without Charles at full capacity. But it has done so by concentrating operational authority in a single person, William. Every risk that was spread across the institution is now funneled through one family, one team, one judgment. That is a very fragile architecture, and no one in the palace is saying so out loud. But there's a piece of this story that almost nobody is talking about. Open your eyes and look at June 2026. What do you see? A monarchy that looks, on the surface, absolutely thriving. The wedding of Peter Phillips and Harriet Spurling, a high-profile, warmly covered event that generated exactly the kind of positive royal coverage the palace craves. A ceremonial calendar packed with appearances. Senior royals photographed, engaged, visible, busy. The institution performs its most important public function, looking stable. This is the glittering curtain, and it is not accidental. The palace understands something fundamental about public perception. Pageantry does political work. A royal wedding, a garden party, a state visit. These events don't just mark occasions. They consume the media's attention. They fill the cultural oxygen. They make it nearly impossible for anyone to look past the spectacle and ask what is happening behind it. Peter Phillips's elevated profile isn't just about family loyalty. His wedding wasn't just a family celebration. These events are institutional deployments. They serve the monarchy's core interest in this particular moment, which is not celebration, it is concealment. Not malicious concealment, strategic concealment. The concealment of a transfer of power that the institution cannot officially name without triggering the very instability it is trying to prevent. The busier the front of house, the quieter the back of house can be. Kensington Palace is on what sources describe as a wartime footing. Minimal information leaving, tight coordination among a small circle of advisors, a deliberate, sustained effort to project confidence while managing a situation that is anything but settled. The curtain is glittering beautifully, which is exactly the point. So where does this end? Here is the honest answer. Nobody knows. And that uncertainty, that structural ambiguity, is itself the story. The palace has created a system designed to absorb the king's reduced capacity without formally acknowledging it. And that system is working for now. The monarchy looks stable. The ceremonial calendar continues. The institution projects confidence. But here's what I think happens next, and here's why. The centralization of authority in William creates its own fragility. Every informal power structure that hasn't been legitimized by a clear legal framework is one crisis away from collapse. If William faces a significant personal or political challenge, and the heir to the throne is never more than one bad headline away from one, the buffer disappears. The informal regency has no fail-safety. At some point, the ambiguity becomes untenable. It always does. History says so. George III's informal incapacity lasted decades before Parliament was forced to act. The modern media environment moves faster. The pressure to name what is actually happening will eventually outpace the palace's ability to manage the narrative. The question that opened this video, who is actually running the British monarchy right now, has an answer. It is William. Not yet officially, not yet legally, but operationally, administratively, and in every way that actually determines how power moves inside an institution. It is William. And the palace hasn't said a word about it. That is the story. Not the weddings, not the scheduling adjustments, not the autumn diary. The quiet transfer, already underway, already in many ways complete. The answer to the question we asked at the very start is becoming clearer with every passing week. Watch this space. This is Crown Gaze.